Hey guys, this is acservicetech, and today what we're going over is how to diagnose a pressure switch problem on a gas furnace. So in this case it's a 90% efficient furnace, and you see we have an error code over here flashing. It's indicating that we have an error with our pressure switch. I'm going to show you how to diagnose that very quickly with a digital multimeter and also a water column manometer. So this is a 2-port digital manometer because we need a differential reading since there's 2 hoses across the pressure switch. So we have our multimeter and our digital manometer all hooked up. I'll go over that in a second. But on this pressure switch, since there's 2 sets of tubing, one's the positive side and one's the negative side, that does not mean that this is actually positive. It just means that this is in a deeper vacuum than the vacuum on this side. So that's why we have to read it with a dual manometer, and we're going to read our negative side over here. And if there's a positive port on your dual manometer, you can attach it to this side. So once again, it's not a matter of positive or negative pressures, it's just that's how a differential would work. You would need a positive and a negative in order to come up with a differential. So we're going to press this, and we see DIFF. We're already zeroed out. I used these brass tees. I have them linked in the description below in order to tee in the water column manometer. You could also use these plastic tees that you get when you change out a furnace. You can just take them out of there. So anyway, that's teed in, and we're going to read our differential across here, and this side should be in a deeper vacuum, so our differential reading should be in negative. Now, so if this differential was actually correct, and this model number right here, I looked it up, and it should have a 1.81 negative water column reading. So we would need something higher than that in order for this switch to click. So if we had -2 or -2.5 or something like that, then this pressure switch would allow the 24 volts from this side, from the control board, to come over to this side of the pressure switch, and then this wire makes it back to the control board. If this right here, 24 volts, makes it back to the control board, then the control board knows to go ahead and move into the next step in the sequence of operation. So how the whole thing works, when we have a call for heat, we can confirm that we do have a call for heat on the control board by reading voltage from W to C on the terminals. Then after that, what happens is the inducer motor turns on first, then the pressure switch proves that the inducer motor is working and that everything is safe. Then after that, on this one, it's the hot surface igniter gets powered and turns cherry red. And so that's where we're being held up at this point, because we are not getting our pressure differential like we should be. If we do get the correct pressure differential, then we're going to read 24 volts from here to our common terminal. We could also have, instead of this multimeter lead on the common, we could also just put that on the ground, and that would help us as well. We'd be able to still read the 24 volts. Now let's go ahead and turn this on so you know. The thermostat upstairs is actually turned in the off position, and I have jumpered from R to W. And the reason for that is R sends 24 volts to the thermostat, and when you call for heat, it connects to W inside the thermostat, and 24 volts comes to the control board on W. That starts the sequence of operation, and right there I have a door switch magnet. That's an interlock door switch. And so what I'm going to do to turn this on right now is I'm just going to go ahead and turn the main power on at the electrical disconnect. You hear that? That is the blower motor turning on first. The reason that the blower motor is on is this furnace was turned off in the middle of its heat sequence last time, so the furnace itself does not know if the heat exchanger is really hot. So the blower motor is going to go ahead and cool the heat exchanger down before the sequence of operation is going to go ahead and start, which the first thing that will happen is this inducer motor is going to turn on. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this. This is typically about 90 seconds or so, or 60 seconds, while the blower motor is cooling down the heat exchanger. So there you see the inducer motor turning on. The blower motor is now shut off. So let's see what our differential reading is. So it looks like our differential reading is only -0.75. So when we look this model number up, sometimes the pressure switches will say the negative inch water column readings on them, but in this case it didn't, so we had to look the model number up. This one has to have -1.81 inch water column in order for the switch to close. presently we still read 0.028. So that's not 28 volts, it says there, it's 0.028. So that means that we don't have any voltage to this side of the pressure switch. So just to show you what's actually happening, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect one of these at a time. Right now we're reading the negative pressure from the inducer motor housing, which is going to be higher. So we're reading negative 4.3. Now with this other tap, we're going to read it. It's going to read positive, but it's not really a positive reading. You see it says 3.6. Just to show you, if you put it on that, it reads negative 3.6, and that's the actual, what it actually is. It's negative 3.6. So that's why the differential between the two is negative 0.78. So actually, you know what the problem is already? It's a clogged combustion air. So if I pull this out and it starts taking combustion air from within the room, now we actually have the correct differential. So this combustion tube must be clogged, or it's undersized or something. It is not allowing the combustion air over to this. It may be too long, but most likely it's clogged, or maybe it's clogged with a bird's nest or something like that. We're going to have to take that apart and fish through it and check it out. So right now our pressure switch is closed. We're reading 28.42 volts, and if you were to look in here, you may not be able to see it, but it's actually cherry orange inside, cherry red. That's because the hot surface igniter is lit. Now we have the flame right here because of our direct ignition, and once we have the flame, we have even a higher differential. It's negative 2.5. So our pressure switch is still closed, and we're reading 27 volts across it, and so now the furnace is actually working properly. But we're going to have to go ahead and determine what the problem is with this combustion air. So if we read this from the beginning, say we read negative 2.6 or we read negative 2-inch water column across this pressure switch, but the pressure switch was not allowing the voltage to go across it, that's how you'd know that the pressure switch was bad. You could also test the pressure switch with a digital dual manometer like this, because it has a pump. You can actually disconnect the pressure switch completely, and this pump will be able to create the negative water column readings in order for you to test the pressure switch. If you're looking for any of the tools used in this video, such as the UEI 2-port manometer, the multimeter, the SDMN6, I have them all linked down in the description below. If you're looking for other pressure switch testing videos, I also have them linked in the description below. And if you want to help support this HVACR training channel, click right here. If you want to subscribe, click here. And if you're looking for another HVACR training video, click right here. Hope you enjoyed yourself, and we'll see you next time at AEC Service Tech channel.